Hello everybody, and thank you for coming to another nature story time today. Today's story is pretty silly and it's going to be a little bit like a game. So you're going to have to guess between two things on our story, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. Coming up on Monday, it is going to be April 1st, which is also known as April Fool's Day. It's a time of the year where maybe you're planning a prank or a trick. Hopefully it's a pretty nice prank or trick for a loved one, a family member, or a friend, because that's what we do on April Fools. So our story today is going to be all about animals that trick other animals into maybe confusing two parts of their body. And there's reasons for that. So let's find out in our story today. It is called Butt or Face. Can you tell which end you're looking at? So you're going to have to guess for each image if it's a butt or a face. This was written and illustrated by Kari Lavelle. So let's meet some animals in this book. Here at the beginning it says, "From their heads to their tails, animals have evolved to thrive and survive in the wild. Just like you, they use their bodies and their senses to learn about the world around them. How does your face help you? Your eyes, ears, lips, and nose are part of your senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. Now think about your butt. Are you sitting on yours right now? How else does your gluteus maximus help? Without your bottom, you wouldn't be able to run and play, and yes, even poop. Faces and butts are important for animals too, but sometimes nature has the silliest sense of humor. And it's hard to tell what we're looking at. The animal kingdom is full of funny faces and butts. Are you ready for a game? How sharp are your scientific observation skills? Can you tell which of these close-up photos are animal faces and which are animal butts? Let's play face or butt. Take a look at this photo. Do you think this is a butt or a face? What do you observe? It looks like someone is looking at us. What do you think? Is it an animal's face or behind? It's a butt. When startled, the Cuyaba dwarf frog flips around and inflates his posterior, or his butt, to scare off predators. So it looks like a big face of an animal that's much bigger than this little frog is. So that's one of the ways some animals trick other animals into thinking they're bigger than they are. If the predator isn't already intimidated, the frog will then emit a stinky, sticky substance as its next defense. Yuck. Better steer clear of this one. It says the toxin produced by this frog could kill 150 mice, and this is an amphibian found in parts of South America. Let's see with his legs, that's his little butt. All right, next up. Is it a butt or a face? What do you think? It says, what animal does it belong to? Ooh. So is it a butt or face? And do you know what animal might belong to? Are you ready? Have your guess? It's another butt. You thought it was a zebra, right? Surprise! It's an okapi. The stripes on the okapi's backside help it to camouflage in the dim sunlight of the rainforest. The striped pattern also helps young okapi calves follow their mothers when they're exploring their habitat. Even though its stripes look like a zebra, it's related to the giraffe. And just like a giraffe, it has a long, dark tongue. This endangered mammal is found in the forests of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Was a butt. All right, next up. Is this a face or a butt? This one looks interesting. What animal do you think it is? And more importantly, is it a face or a butt? It's a face. This is the face of the star-nosed mole. While it doesn't see very well, especially in its dark habitat, its nose is very sensitive and has 22 feelers that it uses to search for prey. The star-nosed mole dines on fine delicacies such as worms, fish, and various insects. Its nose is so sensitive, it can detect 1 grain of salt in a pile of sand. Wow. Or one in a mullion. Ha 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 ha. It's one of the only animals that can smell underwater. Wow. It says the star-nosed mole is one of the fastest eating animals on the planet. It can find and scarf down food in a quarter of a second. Pretty cool. So that was a face. Our first face. All right. Ooh. I think of this a lot when I think of the butt or face trick on this animal. Many of them do this trick. So what do you think? Is it a butt or a face? What do you see here? Have your guess? It's a butt. The markings of this Promethean moth caterpillar's rear might just be coincidental cuteness, or it might be another case of confusing predators. Either way, it's hard not to smile back at that adorable little tush. This butt looks like it's smiling at you. It says, after they hatch from their eggs, these caterpillars sport yellow and black stripes. This invertebrate is found along the eastern half of the United States and as far west as the Great Plains. So another way to confuse predators. All right, what do we think? Here's another one. Is it a butt or a face? I think this one's kind of tough. Do you have your guess? This is a face. This is the face of the Mary River turtle. That mohawk look isn't from a punk rock lifestyle, but from the algae of the Mary River. Turtly awesome, dude. It's pretty turtly awesome. This endangered reptile is found around the Mary River in Australia. The Mary River turtle has a special derriere too, so a behind. In fact, it breathes through its butt. Butt breathing allows them to stay underwater for several days at a time. And our turtles here can do this too when they hibernate in winter. So you don't have to go all the way to Australia to find a butt breathing turtle. All right. Would you guess that this is a butt or a face? Do you have your guess? This is the beautiful butt of the orchid mantis. Check that thing out. That's pretty cool. It lives camouflaged among flowers. But don't let this beauty fool you. This bug is fierce. When pollinators like bees investigate this flower, the orchid mantis attacks and eats them. This deceptive appearance helps the orchid mantis camouflage itself so that predators also think it's a flower and not a meal. It's a mistake pollinators will learn once, and floral. Like a flower, floral. Okay, it says this insect is found in the tropical forests of Southeast Asia, and an orchid mantis will even eat their own sibling if they get too close. Talk about sibling rivalry. Yikes. Glad I don't have an orchid mantis as a brother or sister. All right, let's try another one. How would you describe this photo? Do you think it's a butt or a face? Man, these are tricky. What do you think? It's a butt. Male peacock spiders use this colorful pattern on their abdomen, along with an elaborate dance, to entice a mate. At this dance party, the male dances in front of the female for 4 to 50 minutes. Wow. And he better be good. If the female is not impressed, she might even eat the male. So some pretty high stakes. Maybe he should try the jitterbug. It says this spider species does not catch their food with a web. Instead, they stalk their prey before they jump on them. There are over 90 different species of peacock spiders with different dances too. And these arachnids have only been found in Australia. Do you think it's a butt or a face? What do you notice in this photo? I think I know this one. Can you believe it's part of the face of the proboscis monkey. The word proboscis means nose, and these animals have the biggest nose of all the primates. Male proboscis monkeys attract mates or scare off predators by making loud calls. Their noses create an echo chamber, amplifying the sound. You could say their noses scent those predators running. Proboscis monkeys are great swimmers. If they race, one might easily win by a nose. This mammal is found on the island of Borneo in southern Asia. What about this photo? What are you looking at? Is it a butt or a face? Check out the face of this red-lipped batfish. Ooh. That rosy pout is all natural. No lipstick in this ocean. Scientists aren't exactly sure why these fish have such prominent lips, but most think it's to help them attract a mate. Interesting. Even though it's a fish, it's not a great swimmer. It actually uses its fins to waddle on the ocean floor. This fish is found in the ocean around the Galapagos Islands. Oh boy, this one looks interesting. This may look like an engraving on a piece of stone, but it's part of an animal. Can you guess what it is? Is this a butt or a face? This one's pretty cool. This is the butt of a ravine trapdoor spider. This arachnid uses its big behind to blockade the entrance of its home, keeping out predators like wasps. Can you imagine if instead of closing your door, you just put your booty in the door frame and that was that? The ravine trapdoor spider creates a burrow underground with a trapdoor made of silk. It hides behind the trapdoor, waiting for an unsuspecting insect to fall inside. If its visitor is a parasitic wasp and not a delicious dinner option, the spider presents itself with its shield-like bottom and blocks the wasp from entering. Butt out. This arachnid is found in the United States. Be on the lookout for these if you're exploring the ravines of Alabama, Tennessee, or Georgia. Ravine trapdoor spiders spend most of their lives inside their underground burrow. So they might be kind of tricky to find if you're in those places. All right, is it a butt or a face? These are not getting easier. What do you think? It's the face of the turtle ant. Some turtle ants use their giant heads to blockade the entrance of their homes. Okay, so just like the spider we just read about, preventing any intruders from entering. Way to use your head, turtle ants. Some turtle ants also have the unusual ability of gliding. They're able to steer their bodies when they fall, almost like a rudder or parachute. There are over 100 species of turtle ants, and they are found in the forests of Central and South America. It's pretty cool. Take a closer look. What do you see? Is this a butt or a face? What do you think? It's the face of the Australian pelican. They use their pouch to scoop up food, not store it. They catch fish by diving from the surface of the water. Sometimes they work together to drive fish to shallower waters where it's easier for them to catch food. Any water drains out of its pouch before it swallows its meal whole. The Australian pelican is found in Australia, New Guinea, Fiji, as well as parts of Indonesia and New Zealand. This species has the longest bill of any bird on the planet, up to 18.5 inches long. Wow, that's very long. All right. Is this a trick question? Do you feel like an expert now? Try this last one. Is this a butt or a face? Trick question. Was a trick question. It's the face of a pearlfish inside the butt of a sea cucumber. Pearlfish are parasites that make their homes inside sea cucumbers. Sea cucumbers breathe through this opening, which also serves as a door to the pearlfish's home. Interesting choice, pearlfish. The pearlfish not only lives inside the sea cucumber's bottom, but they also eat some of the sea cucumber's organs. What a rude guest. Don't worry too much about the sea cucumber, though. Fortunately, it can regenerate its organs. Wow, so this little fish just sits in there and eats part of it, and then the sea cucumber grows those parts back. That's a pretty cool relationship, I guess. While sea cucumbers might be found in any marine environment, pearlfish live in the tropical regions of the Atlantic, Indian, and Pacific Oceans. Animal identification can be tricky. The next time you observe wildlife, look again. Appearances are not always as they seem. Many animals have specific features that help them survive. Living creatures use their faces to eat, smell, communicate, and protect themselves. Animal rear ends are more than just a way to move around, sit comfortably, or get rid of waste. They help to connect with a companion, confuse potential prey, and defend against predators. By learning more about animals, we can help protect them and their habitats. In the animal world, sometimes your butt will save your face, and your face might just save your butt. So that is the end of our story and our game today in honor of April Fools and maybe playing some pranks on people. Learned a little bit about some animals that trick other animals and maybe even us humans. Instead of our normal resources and activities, I would encourage you to go out into nature. Maybe you have some time off this weekend. It's also Easter weekend, and maybe you could take a walk in nature and find some things that maybe aren't what they appear at first sight. Maybe you can find some things that are playing some tricks on your eyes. So whatever you do, head outside and enjoy some nature this weekend, and we'll see you again soon for another story time. Bye-bye.